the top dog, making it even. Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no loss. You better call back up. I'm running me down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Made it, kill it, and did it again. But the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it. Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in downtown New Orleans. This is what it looked like just a moment ago in the heart of New Orleans. Folks, there's no place for this noise to go in the Superdome. It is loud, and these fans are ready for football as their Saints get ready to do battle with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
Ready. 95, 56. They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready. Sammy. Y'all playing the wrong football.
The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Well, they're going to get about 3 here out of this first down run, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Breeze to throw. Looking for Ginn, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game, getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
At their own 25-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
Right. He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. 3 down.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Undertake, kill.
Kamara. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Ready? Yellow lady. 12. 56 to Mike, boy. 58. Exit. Under. Watch the twist.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Breeze. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it that time to Ted Ginn. And it's 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Now Breeze on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So Breeze is going to stay out there, and they're going to go for this on 4th down.
Watch the set. Kill.
So here we go on 4th down with Breeze. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. Now, they told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And an alley to run. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson, 27 yards. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On 1st down, Breeze. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. 6 guys.
Now it's Carson. Demario Davis there on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson flushed out right. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Marshawn Lattimore right there on the coverage. He was draped all over him.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
47's the mic, boy. 47. Check, 47. Danny. Tight dog. Watch it.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. From 21 yards away. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Brad McDougal. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
14. Gun. He's crashing. He's checking crash. Left pass.
After the interception, here's Wilson. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. No, but let me finish.
Okay, my
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Hey, break it down, fellas. Break it down.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Breeze. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
But you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know. But all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
To throw is Breeze. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on 4th down. Now Breeze. And now here is another interception. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
47 Mike, 47. Come to my world. We want it. Come to my world. Check. Fresno.
From the 27, Wilson. And he whips that one incomplete there. Tyler Lockett was the target there. Third down here.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. You got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4.
Alert 3, alert 3. He's coming.
Now Wilson. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Cameron Jordan wreaking havoc with a sack.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you're looking to play. Oh, this hurt.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cassius Marsh in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Loss on the play brings up 3rd down.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Ready.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action.
Watch out, watch out. You're good, you're good. Line 4, ready. Over. Hey, seam 6.
On 3rd and long, it's Breeze. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Escapes the defender. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return. The Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field.
All day, baby, all day. Hatchet. Hey, alert. Go. Wide motion. Check.
Well, throw on 1st down with Wilson. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. Well, Charles, if you think so far the early part of the preseason, who has stood out? If you take a peek back at the draft, really the first round, it was pretty defensively minded. But there were 3 quarterbacks taken. Kyler Murray 1st, Daniel Jones 6th, Dwayne Haskins 15th. Of those guys, it looked pretty good.
I agree with you, Brandon. When you talk about those 3 quarterbacks, and you're right, the rest of the draft, we're talking about big linemen, right? We're talking about defensive players, not a lot of skill players in the first round. But let's take the quarterbacks very quickly. Kyler Murray, by acclamation, Went to Arizona, everyone excited about it, and I think his team remains excited about his prospects. They're eager to see him play. He became the starter as soon as he was drafted. Daniel Jones, that was a different situation in New York. The fans weren't real excited about him coming in, but
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. A running play here on first down is going to go nowhere as he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3.
The young